Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter, the master of hoppets. Today checking out some pumpkin spiced ale. The only pumpkin spiced anything or pumpkin beer this year, not because I'm sick of pumpkin beers, it's just not a thing in Europe. And this was the only one I was able to get. I was lucky to find some American ones last year on J&B Crafts Drinks. Maybe I'll find some this year as well. I don't know if they got any over, but I like pumpkin ales. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I love pumpkin spice. I have, for this season, a tub of pumpkin spice syrup for making pumpkin spice lattes at home. I don't want whipped cream and all that on top. Just a little bit of pumpkin spice in the coffee. I like it. And some milk. Like, do a latte. Or just like, coffee, shot of milk, some of that. It's dope. It's just me. I like that. So I was really intrigued with this one. And this is the second time I get this beer. So the first time I picked this up was a couple of years ago when they did the first iteration of it, and I forgot the can, and I forgot to bring it with me. So the beer in question is Sudden Death Brewing's Drunken Pumpkin, which was originally a collab with Braumanufaktur Hertel. So I picked up the version they did maybe 2 years ago, I think it was, at Esbjerg Bryghus down in Esbjerg, Denmark. We were there with the Bad Seed crew for the Fanø Festival. They have a strong beer festival. We were there. It was awesome. Great times. We won Brewery of the Year because there was also this beer blog award. And Beer of the Year, Brewer of the Year. It was a crazy trip there and whatever. But before going to this event and the festival, we went to Esbjerg Bryghus for a tap takeover, and they had a small bottle shop, and I saw this and was like, I have to get it. But that version was brewed with pumpkin. And it's funny, the Braumanufaktur Hertel version is also brewed with pumpkin. I'm not sure if they made it again, and it used to be 6.66%, now it's 6.5%. But they did one with the spice blend was the Hertel custom spice blend that he'd use himself for pumpkin pies or something like that. And then the Sudden Death version was brewed with an obscene amount of pumpkin puree, just like they do in their kettle sours. And it's one of their lowest rated beers. And it looked like some of these super fruited sours, like super pulpy and thick, but it was pumpkin puree. And I'm not sure how nicely that tastes. I've seen some people saying they've also had off cans and exploding cans and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. I never got to try my can because I forgot it down at Esbjerg Bryghus, so it was just sitting there. So we're trying it now, but in a revised version. So what they've done for this version is that they made it as a pumpkin spiced ale instead. There's a lot of breweries in the States that also just do pumpkin spiced ales and not necessarily true pumpkin ales where they brew with pumpkin. But that gourdy flavor is kind of part of it. Like even the pumpkin syrup I have has a little bit of a pumpkin flavor. But so just the season, and it's also Halloween, but I'm not dressed up, unfortunately. But it's Halloween, and I thought this would be very appropriate. They have a huge series of Halloween beers as well at Sudden Death. But this spiced amber ale is brewed with coffee, maple syrup, vanilla, and sea salt, and pumpkin spices. And then it's with coffee from Cycled Roaster. And this really speaks to me because my favorite of all the pumpkin beers last year was the Nitro Pumpkin Spice Latte from Left Hand. That was really nice. So I'm hoping it's going to be in that vein. And I think a amber ale is a good base for showcasing something like this. So yeah, let's check it out. So pours a very nice reddish amber color. It looks nice in the glass. I could just sit and talk and it smelled like pumpkin spice. So yeah, it looks nice. Slightly tan head. Let's check out the aroma on this one. Yeah, there we go. Here we are. Pumpkin season. I think it's quite biscuity. There's almost a little bit of a pie crusty thing. And I think, just thinking of malts, biscuit malt from the UK or amber malt produces these really rich, biscuity, crackery flavors. It smells a bit like they could be using something like that because it has a very nice biscuity note. There's also definitely the coffee, soft hints of vanilla, not much maple syrup, and then a good kick of pumpkin spice. It's like this vanilla, nutmeg, cinnamon thing. Like this is a beer that's not going to be for everyone. And this is a beer I think, although it's Halloween themed on the can, you would also enjoy in the Christmas months, in the Christmas season in Europe, because a lot of people associate these kind of spices with the festive season, the Christmas season. So almost like gingerbready notes. But it smells exactly like what it says on the can, but with like a nice robust amber ale base that's not like hoppy. So you smell everything on the can, maybe besides the maple syrup and sea salt, which you might taste. But yeah, it smells really good. I love that biscuity, bready, pie crusty note on there. Slightly toffee notes, and then loads of hops, or loads of spices. It smells very much like what I think of when I think of pumpkin spiced latte mixed with a beer or something like that. Because there's definitely also that like coffee edge and everything. It smells good. Maybe more restrained on spice compared to something like the left-hand one, but it smells good. Let's try it. Cheers. Loads of pumpkin spice. I like this. This is really good. So this is not going to be in everyone's favor at all. A lot of people are not going to enjoy this. This is a great pumpkin spice beer. It pretty much tastes like when you go to Starbucks and have a pumpkin spice latte, but in beer form. They nailed that quite well. The only thing that's really missing is that kind of gourdy flavor that you get from pumpkin. But it's okay that it's not there. It makes it seem pumpkin ale-like, but also just a little bit like a Christmas beer. Kind of like a gingerbread cookie type flavor, but with coffee. Good kick of cinnamon, good kick of vanilla, really nice coffee vanilla interplay on the end after the spices fade a bit. I think it's like cinnamon, ginger. There must be a bit of nutmeg and allspice or something like that, and maybe even hints of clove. It's that blend of warm spices, and they're forward without being too aggressive. Again, I'm not really tasting the maple syrup. There's some sweetness to this, but it's not like overly sweet. It's actually very well balanced. So it's not like cloying or anything. It's just super, super festive and well done. And I really like the addition of coffee too. It brings some extra flavor to the table, which is really nice. And again, I don't know with the sea salt. Usually it's just using salt in beer will feel like salt in cooking. You can feel it on your lips. I'm not really feeling it too much. It's funny when it goes in the mouth, loads of that spice, then some of that crackery, pie crusty, biscuity, like British malt kind of flavor. And then it transitions into loads of vanilla and coffee on the end. And then you're sitting with a sweetness, some nutty notes too. And I think that could be the maple maybe at play. I think this is really good. This is a nice kind of festive treat. It's dry, but it also definitely has some sweetness to it. So it's not like, and it has some body to it. It's not like thin or anything. It's slick yet dry because you get some dry sensations from both the coffee and the spices, I think. Just thinking back to some of the pumpkin ales I had last year, I think this is better than a lot of them. Like the ones that I was most excited to try was like Pumpkin and Warlock from Southern Tier. And they were so crazily, like they were decent, but you could taste that they were using flavorings. Like this feels like everything you'd use in making a pumpkin spice latte is in here. It doesn't feel flavored per se. It feels real. I think the best comparison to this is the left-hand pumpkin spice latte nitro. And I think this would actually also be really good with nitro. Like if they have nitro dosing, they probably don't. But if they could do this on nitro, that would be dope. Sudden Death Drunken Pumpkin Nitro Edition. That would be dope. And it's sweet, but it's not too sweet. There's enough dryness from spice and coffee. In terms of grade, like a 90, 92 maybe. Like something like that. 90, 92, early 90s. Very nice pumpkin beer. I really like this a lot. So much, much better than I actually thought. I was fearing that I would be underwhelmed and it would not be pumpkin spiced enough, but it definitely is. It'll be fun to see a version again where they try to use just a little bit of pumpkin just to get some of that gourd flavor. So it's just so it's completely in tune. But again, if it's pumpkin spice latte inspired, it doesn't necessarily need to have pumpkin. So, yeah, if you guys had Drunken Pumpkin from 2024 by Sudden Death Brewing Company, let me know what you thought of it. Really nice stuff. Probably the best European pumpkin beer I've had, or pumpkin spice beer, I must say. It's really nice. So, yeah, if you guys had this one, let me know. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and ring the bell for future notification about videos, and almost like cheers. And see you guys in another beer review.